Hey everyone, what's going on? This is Mr. Riley coming to you live from the West Coast, the best coast, the West Side. Well, check it out. Let me just go ahead and hit this horn one time for you. Yes, sir. We going to the chip. We going to the chip. Hey, check it out. After the intro video, I have Coach Smith, and we're just going to talk about the game that we just kind of, scored 63, for second time in consecutive weeks, just a win against Eagle Rock, and then we're going to preview the game against King Drew. So hang out with us and join in on the conversation. And welcome to another week of This Week in Pali Football.
Hey, win on me, win on three, ready, 1, 2, 3. Win! Oh, yeah! Stop playing with a beat! 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 Stop playing with a beat!
Some call it the gridiron.
Nice run, way to skim it.
Others, 100 yards of pain.
Too much.
We just like to call it football.
Football.
With Facebook James.
Football, baby.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Facebook James or Mr. Riley. Welcome to the West Coast, the best coast, the West Side. Another episode of This Week in Pali Football, and I believe this is week number 13, if I kind of got it numbered correctly. Yeah, man. Listen, we are so hyped. I know I'm hyped, right? And I'm just like a super sponsor or super supporter. But if I'm hyped, Coach Smith and the boys over there and the rest of the coaches, they are like extra hyped because we're going to the championship for the second time in 3 years. 2 years ago, we played against Granada Hills, came up with an L. Last year, we lost to Granada Hills. I'm sorry, not Granada Hills. Gardena in the first round. But this year, we have ran through the gauntlet, and we have team number 4 standing in our way, trying to get this championship game. It's been a long time coming, and I know Coach really, really wants this win. I know the boys really, really want this win, and definitely the Pali football community, Pali High School, they definitely want this win. And as Coach said in a previous show, the football team is probably the only team that does not have a banner up in the gymnasium. So that is the goal, to go ahead and play our hardest and score as many points. Of course, scoring points is the name of the game. And if you score more points than your opponent, then guess what? You win. So we're trying to definitely get a championship win this coming Saturday. We'll talk about all of the logistics at the end of the show. But right now, I have Coach Smith, who is standing in the wings. So let's go ahead and bring Coach Smith on. Hey, Coach Smith, what's going on?
Good, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Let me go ahead and hit that button for you one time. Man, congratulations, man. Just another wonderful win. I know you were excited, man. What did you do? What did you do right after the win to kind of celebrate? Once all the dust, the guys got on the buses and you kind of got home. What is the first thing that you did to kind of relax and kind of celebrate your victory against Eagle Rock?
Well, I actually just I just got a new dog on Tuesday, so I actually went home and cuddled with the dog in my bed. So I didn't do much celebrating, but I came home to him with a pile of goodies. So it's a lot of cleaning up. So, but I just relaxed, had a good time this weekend, and as much as I want to celebrate, still have to get ready for this weekend. So.
Absolutely.
I'll celebrate this coming Saturday.
Absolutely. So what's the name of your dog?
Ghost. It's pit bull. Yeah, pit bull, full bred. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe Ghost was, maybe he just kind of sensed the excitement in the air, and so he just had a couple of, little celebratory, little surprises for you. So maybe kind of
Too many surprises.
Absolutely. All right, before we get into everything Pali football, This week is Thanksgiving week, man. So, tell us off the top of your dome, man. And it can be personal or Pally football related, man. What one thing that you're kind of thankful for?
Just my family, all the support that I've been given the last year or two. Um, my health. And not many people know I had a heart attack 3 years ago. Um, cardiac arrest. So I'm actually very lucky to be here. That was 2021, and a year later I got this job, or 2 years later I got this job. You know, really my dream job. So just thankful to be here and doing exactly what I love to do.
Absolutely. That's great, man. That's great. And we're thankful that you're here as well, making a major contribution to the Pally football program. So thanks, again, thanks for being here. And we're going ahead and hit that hit that air horn. Okay, so a very impressive win against Eagle Rock. Of course, I remember the 2018 game, and for me, it was kind of like a revenge game. I know for some of the players, like or coaches, Brandon, he was around. My son, who's still kind of checking out Pally football, he's aware, and so I know the alumni. Appreciates the win. So, on behalf of the alumni, man, we appreciate you go ahead and getting that win for us. But kind of, um, you know, it was even Steven, I just want to hop in because it seemed like it was going to be a gunslinger kind of battle. And I even said several times on the live stream, it might be the last possession. Whoever has the ball at the last possession of the game might win. But I mean, we played so well, almost even Steven at halftime. 35 to 31, I believe. And then the third quarter hit, and it was just like, okay, you guys were all on all cylinders, scoring 21 points, man. Just kind of tell us the key to you guys coming out in the second half and using your defense to kind of put a stop on everything that they were trying to do on the football field.
Well, we felt like we could score at any time, and we just, as coaches say, if we could just stop, we just need 3 stops on defense, and we had this game. And Coach Beck adjusted really well. We put King on number 15 just to kind of shadow him, um, you know, not let him run free all over the field like he was in the first half. And we always felt like if we could shut 15 down, we have a chance to win. So, um, King got beat on a couple of plays, but it was only his first, couple of plays to play defense the whole season. So we weren't really upset about that. He was still in great position, but he was aggressive the whole game on him, not let him get loose. We put pressure on the quarterback in that quarter, and we just really did our game plan. We just didn't execute it well the first half. We executed it better in the the third quarter. And, scoring 21 straight points really helped us, get the game out of the way.
Yeah, I mean, for me, just like, okay, they scored 7. Then we scored, or they scored 6, we got 7, and then they scored again. 2 consecutive PATs on behalf of Eagle Rock, and then we were able to kind of hang in there and get those 2 touchdowns and 2 PATs, and then again, second quarter, 21 straight points. They were holding strong at 18, so our offense was definitely high powered. Using a plethora of key players, LaHenry, Solomon, he had 2. You had King, who had large rushes, for, touchdowns. You even had Max, get in there in the second half. So, we know that we can score. But I'm just so happy that the defense kind of stepped up and did kind of dominate in the third quarter. Now, did you feel, because there was a couple of points in the game where I kind of felt that we were playing not against Eagle Rock, but again, just the referees, man. And, I'm just reminiscing upon that one call with the whistle, before the play. Eagle Rock went ahead and, started their play, didn't have the whistle before. I believe they got a first down, and everyone on the sidelines were like, wait a minute. I mean, they were livid because there was no, so did you feel, with the way we were playing against Eagle Rock, did you feel that the referees had a large impact on the football game by calling 15 penalties for 155 yards?
It's funny. I mean, I'm almost used to it at this point. I mean, there's so many penalties and things going on. I just always tell the kids we got to fight through it. We can't let the referees dictate what we do. Just keep playing. We find out what's going on. We try to correct it and move on. We can't really dwell on that. If we start dwelling on the referees and looking for calls, we just take ourselves out of the game. So we just try to move on from that and try to, just get better with what they call. If they call something and it's not there, then we just say, hey, this is what the referees are looking for. Let's do it the way they want us to. So that way there's not a call. So we really just have to adjust to what the referees are doing, just like we would adjusting to an opponent. They do something that beats us, we adjust to it and fix it. Referees call something we don't like, we adjust to it and fix it. So that way, we're not, getting too many calls on us. But at least we know what they're looking for. We can do better and, figure it out. And I think we did that in the fourth quarter. I don't remember there being too many penalties in the fourth quarter on us.
Yeah, here's the funny thing. So, at halftime, right? Cheerleaders are kind of cheer on. Maybe it was in the third quarter, and I think we were up by a sizable amount. But there were a couple of calls that were really, really questionable. And I think this was right after the one where Jackson had got an interception, and I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm hyped, I'm excited, and about the comment, I'm trying to wait and see, and they, Eagle Rock kept possession of the ball, and I was like, hold on, wait a minute. I guess I missed something. So I guess they ruled that it was an incomplete pass and he didn't get a true interception. Was that the ruling on that play?
No, they call a late hit on Cash, I believe. So they obviously got the first down on that one. But I didn't see the play. I was looking at Jackson and where the ball was. So I didn't even see where the late hit was. So again, they call it. We got to move on. They're not going to change the call because we're on the sideline. Sorry, that's Ghost. They're not going, they're not going to change it because we're upside on the sideline. So we just got to, tell them what to do better the next play and fix it and move on.
Yeah, and it was, that field is a little bit different because the fans, everybody's real close up on each other, right? So you don't have that separation like at Pali, and even at North Hollywood, it was still kind of, it was relatively close, but that was kind of too close for comfort. And I'm sure you heard a lot of the comments come, or maybe you didn't because you're so tuned in, locked into the game. But here's continuing the conversation about the refs, and then I'll be quiet about the refs. I think at one point during the second half, the cheerleaders were, kind of cheering, and one cheer was like, something to the effect of, ref stop cheating, basically. And so the ref walked over. I mean, he walked all the way over to the coaches because it might have been a timeout call or something. He walked all the way over to the cheer coaches, and he's like, "Hey, have your squad, be quiet, or so I'm gonna give them a 15-yard penalty, or give the team a 15-yard penalty." And the fans who are on our side, they're like, "Really? You gonna give their cheerleaders just because they saying something about cheating? You gonna flag this in 15 yards?" So their retort was like, "Just call the game correctly. Why are you worried about what the cheerleaders are doing? Right. Call the game correctly." And you won't have to have these kind of statements kind of, jeered out at you because of what you're doing or what you're not doing on the field. So I thought, as opposed to last week's game where it was a minimal amount of, flags thrown. And I think, there has to be some kind of equity in some of the games in terms of penalties thrown. I'm looking at some of the stats, and I'll put it on the screen as well. Five penalties for Eagle Rock, and I think we had 15. Yeah, there it is, 15. Man, that's that is crazy. That's crazy. So I think the fans were getting frustrated, and the cheerleaders were just reacting based on what they saw and kind of how they felt. But for the ref to say, "Hey, we gonna give your team a 15-yard penalty if you don't, knock it off," we're like, "Really, dude? Come on now." That's I think that's overkill. Just call the game. You don't even need to come talk to the cheerleaders. They're trying to cheer, and just do your job, right?
Yeah, I mean, I get that frustration. It's not easy being a referee, but like you said, call the game evenly. Some of the calls might be suspect. There's different angles. Some referee might see something. There's things that on the sideline that I don't agree with, and I watch film and I'm like, okay, that was a penalty. So, it happens, but at the same time, the referees need to understand it's a it's a playoff game, it's a close game. Two teams are battling to go to a championship, and emotions are high. So, to threaten somebody with a 15-yard penalty based off what they see, they need to understand, the stakes too. That the parents and the parents feel like they're part of the game. They have a right to be upset. So they have to understand that too.
Yeah, I mean, go back to that blown whistle. I mean, parents were livid. I mean,
I
just
was livid too.
yeah, I know. I saw you. I mean, I think everybody was like, "Come on, dude!" And then after that, I was like, "Okay, there's the whistle. There's the whistle." Just making sure that you should hear a whistle before the play actually begins, right? And so I think everyone was hot, on that sideline at that particular moment. But
Well, my
those
issue
little
with that was, I had the headsets on, so sometimes I can't hear it. The referee's on their sideline, so he should make sure both sides hear it. But what made me upset was his explanation was that he said, I blow two whistles to, you hear two, two. And that's what he said. I said, okay, well, there's two whistles to end the timeout. I said, well, where's the third whistle to start the play? That's what you didn't hear. So I told him, I said, okay, fine. You blew two whistles. He said, no, I blew one. I said, no, you blew two. Two, there's two whistles. That's what I was like, that's not one. But that's just to end the timeout. He's like, well, I blew three. I'm like, well, that's something totally different than what you're saying. You did not blow three whistles, you blew two, and that's the end of timeout. So that's where I was upset about the explanation. It just didn't make sense to me. Now, if you blew it, we didn't hear it, that's one thing, but the explanation is what really didn't make sense and should have been, corrected at that moment.
Yeah, I'm because everybody reacted the way they reacted. I'm almost sure, to your point, there wasn't a whistle because everyone was like, "Where's the? We need to start the play." So, but ultimately we won the game. But those couple of things just kind of stand out at me. But let's focus on the boys and just their performance on the field. So again, Mr. Consistency, Jack Thomas, and let me scroll up a little bit. Jack was, he was Jack. I mean, no touchdowns, I think four touchdowns. Yeah, no interceptions, 12 for 21, 263 yards, four touchdowns, and his longest was 62. Again, he adds so much value, to the football game. Just his knowledge and awareness. The way he looks at the defense prior to him snapping. And I can tell a couple of times he was kind of frustrated at, just maybe he went a little bit too long in terms of not being able to set up or going a little bit too long where, a flag was thrown for too much time. But yeah, man, let's kind of celebrate him and just his continued contribution to being head smart and making the right plays. Not giving up an interception in a champion and a playoff game like this is crucial. So let's give Mr. Thomas some love and just talk about just some of the good things that happened as he was on the field for our football team.
Yeah, he just really puts us in a great, in good positions to run a play. And even the coach after the game came up to me and said, "Man, your quarterback is just something special to watch." The way he runs our zone reads. He even fools me in practice sometimes and in games. I'm looking at the running back thinking he handed it off, and I'm looking to my left, and he's 20 yards down the field on the right. I'm like, "Why is everybody cheering? We just got tackled in the backfield." And next thing I know, he's juking and scoring. So. For him to be able to do that, also be able to throw the ball, accurately, and he can throw a good deep ball. So every component that you need in this offense, he has. And like I said, it just makes play calling so much easier with him. Sometimes it does take too long to, change a play and get us into a play, but he's just trying to put us in the right position, which is fine with me. I'll take one delayed game, every few games as long as we're in the right position.
Yeah, I mean, and you talk about him, getting out of, being tackled, thinking that the running back has the ball. And, the same thing would happen with me. I'm like, okay, it's a handoff to, oh, no, it's not. He called his own number and he scampers for like 25 yards for a first down. And so that's, he's real valuable. Of course, any QB is valuable to their squad, but I mean, just his head smarts and his awareness to kind of, put it on his shoulders, on his back. If there's a third down and long, or fourth and short, he's like, look, I'm gonna pull it down and run it in. So yeah, he was able to get some, spread the ball out a little bit. So talking about receiving, King Demetrius had two receptions for 37 yards. His parents were watching all the way from Jamaica. So they got a chance to see that first touchdown pass. Max Ajazi was in there. Glad to see. It wasn't a Max Ajazi night, but still being able to contribute in the second half. LeHenry, he got two. This is funny. It's a funny stat line: 2 for 58 with 2 touchdowns. So that's that's pretty good. And then Harrison Carter, receiving 3 for 87 yards, and that boy when he gets on his horse, he's just all in, and he just like, he kind of reminds me of Cavante Turpin, for what he did last night against the Washington Commanders. I mean, he's almost like a game move, I mean, he just gets the ball and just, he's like, look, let me go ahead and get this rock to the end zone. So super dope for all those guys, and I know they're really wanting to do well next week when they play in this championship game.
Yeah, they are. I mean, they're hungry, and like I said, they compete with each other. They're in stretching lines. They're asking who has how many touchdowns. They're trying to beat the other person, but no, it's not for selfish reasons. Just the way they interact. They're happy for each other, but at the same time, they're competing against each other. So it's really good to have that many guys who can score at any time, be happy for the other person. But every time they touch the ball, they want to score and they're capable of scoring. So as a coach, it's like just lucky to have all those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And then looking at the rushing yards, I mean, again, I think this is probably the most yards Harrison has had all year, 242, 16 carries. A 15-yard average per carry is super dope. And then his longest was 82. And my man had 2 touchdowns. So, again, value, you got value up and down the squad. And again, I know we've talked about this time and time again, they're only juniors.
Right.
And I'm just like, my goodness. I mean, we're in the championship this year. I can't wait till next year. But, first we got to finish this season out.
Right.
But no, just, I just love the way, again, he puts the team on his back. And, not saying that we were in a vulnerable position during the game, but he was just like, look, let me go ahead and get these 2 touchdowns, get this long 82-yard run back. And I think it was like right after halftime that he took that back? Yeah. So I'm just like, he was just like, look, let's go ahead and key in. So, and then you had Shiloh, who, was pounding the rock, and then of course Devron Kearney. So you got a 3-headed monster with the receiving core and the returners, and then you got a 3-headed monster with the running back core. Man, just talk about how valuable and how well these guys all work together, especially with Shiloh coming in late in the season and being productive, for the football team. So just kind of talk about just the responsibility and the camaraderie that those 3 guys have in the backfield when they get the ball and do what they do.
Well, again, they always work for each other, and it gives me another option of moving Harrison to running back and Harrison to receiver and letting Devron and Shiloh kind of finish the game like we did Friday. Harrison can run between tackles, but he takes a lot of hits. So if we can move him outside or move him to receiver, and let those bigger guys kind of end the game and go 2 back with them, and Devron did a great job getting his first downs the last couple of games at the end. And then Shiloh comes in, he's breaking 2 or 3 tackles before he's down. So just be able to pass the ball throughout the game, and then when we need to run the clock out or end the game, we have those 3 guys who can finish it out and, pound the ball. So it gives me a ton of options. Even thinking about putting another package for all 3 of them to be in the backfield at the same time. So if not this year, definitely next year. So I'm looking forward to that as well. So it just gives me so many options, and then still having 5 or 6 receivers we can throw out there. It's like, what do you game plan for as another, as the opposite coach? So just like I said, just lucky to have that many weapons and all of them coming back next year. So this offseason is going to be even more fun trying to drawing up stuff and other ways to get everybody the ball. And the good thing about Jack too is he spreads the ball around. You know, you don't see one receiver with 10 catches and then the next guy only has 2 or 1 or 0. Each guy consistently has 2, 3, 4 catches per game. You might have somebody with maybe 8 catches, but the next guy has 6, 5. So he's really spreading the ball around, and then Harrison getting 16 carries, but then the other 2 get 10 carries. So just be able to, it's only one football, but being able to feed everybody and trying to keep everybody happy has been why we were able to score 56 and 63 points last couple of games.
Yeah, I mean, and when you look at Harrison, when he gets the ball, I mean, he's, I thought long and hard about this. He's like a Marcus Allen kind of back where he gets the ball and it's like, okay, he's slithery. I mean, he's going through holes, and they're unable to get him down, right? With the other two, Devron and Shiloh, they kind of like the Marshawn Lynch, Derrick Henry kind of backs where they kind of big and they run hard. They're not as slippery. Shiloh has a little bit more speed, I think, than Devron, but no. All 3 of them, when they get the ball, but especially Harrison, he finds a hole and he's gone. That speed carries him down the field. So, that's super super dope. And I'm kind of rooting for them to see all 3 of them in the backfield with a package next season. So that's going to be super super exciting. So you heard it here first, Pali supporters. I have a special package for the 3 of those guys coming out the backfield. But Eagle Rock did play hard. Did you feel that, especially in the beginning, did you feel that our boys were going to be nervous as they had to make the travel? I'm sure you said you're going to get there a little bit, the same kind of timing that you did for North Hollywood. Did you feel a sense of nervousness against, this spread offense and the defense, or do you think that they were focused in the zone, ready to play, and ready to win actually this football game?
Yeah, I mean, I'm nervous every game. So there was, especially during lunch Friday, I was a little more quiet than I normally am during lunch. I was trying to focus myself. The kids were loose, but it wasn't because of a lack of focus. I think the confidence was there for them, and I felt like they knew they were going to win. Um, and not that I didn't think we were going to win. I just, you try to execute a game plan and you want it to go right. So I think that's the nervousness. You want what you've been working hard all week for to pan out on Friday night. So, that first drive when they scored, I was a little nervous, and I was going to see how the offense was going to respond. They responded right away. Defense, gave up another touchdown. Offense responded right away, and I said, okay, as long as the defense holds them 1 or 2 times, we're going to score every time. Unfortunately, we stopped them, and then we got stopped. So then I was like, okay, now we're in for a battle, and then our offense just kept clicking and scoring, and third quarter came and our defense had those 2, 3 stops, and I said, okay. In my mind, I was like, okay, we're good, but I'm still waiting for that clock to hit 0 before I can really get excited. But the focus the kids have had in practice the last 2 weeks has been something we haven't seen all season long. And I told them today, I said, if we have the same focus this week, the results are going to be the same this coming Saturday. So, to me, practice is the most important thing over anything else. We got to be consistent. We got to practice how we're going to play. And we did that the last 2 weeks, and we were able to put up, that many points regardless of what defense did. So, I think the boys are ready. The energy's been really good.
Yeah, what kind of stood out for me, and I kind of felt the same exact way. It was going to be, blow to blow. They scored first, we scored, they scored again, we scored, and then, once we kind of got that lead a little bit, went ahead 35-31, and I knew we were getting the ball back in the second half. I was like, look, if we can get a score, that's going to be key right there because now it's going to put the onus on Eagle Rock to keep up with us. And no, and I knew number 15. That's one thing about Eagle Rock. They were not going to stop no matter what. They were going to try to do whatever they can to get some more points on the board. So, and I think in the final quarter, they were able to put up 20, was it 21, 14 points. I think we had 7 points or something like that. But no, they were destined to kind of keep their guys happy over there, their fan base. And so they were relentless, trying to do what they can to score. But here, we're talking about defense, and we talk about the offense a lot. Man, look at this right here. These guys up front, especially my man, Jaden. I hadn't called his name too many times, on the live stream, but as I'm looking at it, I did shout him out, I think, once or twice during the game. But, he was in there, 10 solo tackles.
Right.
Jalen was, this is probably the best game Jalen had on defense. And then, you got Jake. Jake does what Jake does, right? He plays defense. So, again, just, them being valuable assets to the defense, making sure that folks were, getting tackled when it was necessary and, really disrupting the offense of Eagle Rock. So, let's go ahead and give the defense a little shout out as well, since we're always talking about the offense. Let's give the defense some love, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, Jaden, we haven't talked about all year, not much, but he had a great game. He had a great week of practice. He's one of the fastest guys on the team, and just his energy and the way he was jumping around in practice all week on special teams. I'm honestly not surprised by the way he played. He was draped over their receivers and making plays, and I'm really happy to see him because he's really important to our defense. He plays free safety, so we asked him to do a lot, moving sideline to sideline, and what we asked him to do is not easy at all. But he works hard, and he does it well, and it paid off last Friday. Again, Adrian, D tackle, made some great plays. I told his parents to the game, I said, he's not going anywhere. I got him for 3 more years, so he's mine now. So just him and Nico played well. Just that second half overall, those kids really fought hard, and just really happy. We wouldn't win that game without them, so just really happy to see the defense step up.
And also just looking at the stats too, Ricardo and Mike, Mike Tobin, great assets to the game as well on defense. They're not a skill position just like the receivers. They don't get all the accolades and all the love. But no, they're in the trenches. They're disrupting the offense, and so it was great to see that those guys were in there, based on the tackles. And I kind of judge it also how dirty their uniforms get from week to week. Again, grass field. Someone commented on the live stream, man, this looks like the same exact field when we played 6 years ago. It was kind of uneven, and it was an old school field, right? It wasn't neatly kept or anything. It was, you had some pockets in there that was just nothing but grass, and you had dirt and grass. But yeah, it was uneven. But that's what football is all about. It's not all to be, it's not going to look all the time, real nice and pretty. Right. Sometimes it's going to look dirty and fuzzy and ugly, but the boys still have to make the adjustments and go out and play. So just a wonderful game. And congrats again. Now, what did you say to the team after the victory? I know you guys were excited. So what did you kind of say to just kind of help them become a little bit more excited?
Again, I told them that's how you win a playoff game. We finally got our 60 piece. We've been working on, all year long. We were trying to get 60 since first game of the year. So I just told them how proud I am of all of them and how hard they've worked, and just trying to show, tell them, hard work pays off, and I hope the results in the last couple of weeks have shown that. I told them we have 3 more to go. King Drew's obviously the next step to a championship and a banner, and then we got two more after that, whoever we play. So I'm not ready for the season to be over with, and hopefully we plan through December.
All right. Yeah, no, we I think we're ready, man. We're ready to go ahead and continue this winning tradition so far. I was just trying to check and see so last week we had it was 56-21. Okay. Because when you said our first 60 piece this year, I was like this school year, the football season, I was like, wait, didn't we get we got 56 last week, so it's all good. All right. And plus, you the coach, you should know better than me. I was over here fact checking. I don't feel like, well, wait a minute, coach, we got 60. So yeah, you are
No, we talk about it every week, so I know that was our first one.
yeah. And here's the funny thing. So near the end of the game, there and I don't know if you heard the cheers to go for the last touchdown I think it was within last 3 minutes of the game. They're like, go get 70 for Loftus. Now, is it because Loftus is 70? Is that what the thought was?
I didn't hear that part. I just heard them go for 70. Like I think we were taking the knee. They're like, no, go for 70. So I didn't hear the Loftus part.
Yeah.
But he might be up there. So maybe this week we'll go for 70 for him.
You can't tell by the way he acts. I mean, because his energy is contagious, and one thing I love about him is just his loud presence, his loud voice, and just his presence, right? And so he's been a long time Pali football supporter. I think when my boys first started, he was there. He was I don't think he was still coaching, but he would help the JV squad for their first couple of years, and then he kind of stopped coaching. But then he said he felt the tug, and so he's been on your coaching staff for the past 2 years now.
That's first year. This is his first season.
Okay.
He's retiring, so he wanted he wanted one last hurrah. And honestly, he's been a big supporter. When I interviewed for the job, he was in the interview process, and he gave me a lot of confidence walking out of his office. So I really hope as a going away gift for him, we can get him the school their first city championship, and he can be a part of that.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's go ahead. We've talked about Eagle Rock. Again, congrats, and we like Kobe said, job not done. It's not finished. So we have one more to go before we can really, really celebrate, and which is coming up this coming Saturday at Birmingham High School at 6:00. So, what do we know about King Drew? I think when I looked at Max Preps over here, it looks like we're kind of evenly matched again. I did hear. One of the coaches who I'm real familiar with, he was like, yeah, they got some D1 prospects. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. But, what do we know about King Drew? I'm going to pull up the bracket here just to kind of show how far we have come, how far they have come. What do we know about King Drew going into this football game this
year? They got some great athletes. They got speed, especially in the secondary. Wide receivers, they play man to man, and they just feel like their athletes are better than ours, and they're going to match up and try to stop you that way. They don't do anything special. They don't, no zone. They just say my athlete is better than your athlete, and try to beat us. So it's going to be a rugged game. It's going to be tough. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but I told the kids today I'll take my athletes better over their athletes any day. So it's a matchup we're looking forward to. A matchup I feel like if we got to the finals, we were going to see anyway. So we've been preparing, maybe not X and O's wise, but for this type of team for a couple weeks now. So just looking forward to the matchup, and tell the kids, they might talk and might get chippy, but just play our game. Don't fall into that. And I think we'll win if we're disciplined.
Yeah, so I'm just going over some of the preview stats. So again, looking at our team scoring averages, they're averaging 42. I'm sorry, we're averaging 42. They're averaging about 31 points a game. And we kind of get at it in the first quarter. Their first quarter, not so much. And so it looks like just about in every quarter except the last quarter, No, I think we lead them in just about every quarter. So again, 42-31, and then if we kind of go to some stat comparisons or team stat comparisons, you're looking at passing yards, rushing yards, receiving yards. Pally has the edge on all of those, even tackles, sacks, points per game as well, and a pancake block. So we have, again, I have to say this, on paper, it shows an advantage, but you still got to play the game. And again, you can ask Colorado about that in their loss to Kansas this past week. They probably thought that they were going
Rock
to win.
chalk, baby.
See, I kind of threw that in there for you.
Appreciate it.
But yeah, Colorado probably thought that they were going to come in there and roll over, but no, Kansas for the past three, and they were sharing this stat for the past three games have brought down a championship or a larger seed. So hats off to Kansas, man. I know that's your alma mater, man. But looking at the team stats, team leaders, Harrison Carter, Jameer Torres is kind of even. Jack Thomas, Keenan Jackson, the Henry, with the receiving, Jameer Torres. So you see some comparisons, and again, you still got to play the game. So these stats look favorable for Pally, but it really doesn't mean anything because you still got to hop on the field and you got to play and compete, and you got to act like you want to win this thing. So I know you guys will be ready. Do we know what kind of offense they're going to run? A wing T is going to be a spread similar to how we play.
Now they run spread. They pass the ball, I would probably say 35% of the time, 65% passing. So they'll mix it up. They're not. I feel like we're a little more balanced with the run pass, but they can't run the ball. So just gotta be ready for everything. They have a great athlete, Torres, number one, who's a free safety, and he plays a receiver and running back. So they kind of move him all over the field. And then their DN, who's pretty good, number 0. We have to obviously pay attention to. So they got some athletes. They're fast, they move around. So we just got to match speed for speed and find the holes and where we can exploit and take advantage of it.
Yeah, for me, I was a little bit more nervous with the impending game against North Hollywood, only because they had that gentleman who was running, almost 180 something yards per game. I'm just like, okay, going into that, I'm like, dang, how can this dude either he's extra quick or something, because it's not easy getting 182 yards a game. But when I look at some of the stats for us, I'm like, okay, what I'm trying to say, I'm not as nervous against King Drew like I was for North Hollywood. So, for me, I'm hoping that we do it well. And it's not even the same nervousness against Eagle Rock because, I knew what Eagle Rock did a couple of years ago. And, seeing them play last week, they were right on it. I mean, again, they just didn't know how to stop. Number 15 was always had his hands up. He was always around the ball in their QB until he got injured, late in the game. He was putting it right where they can get it. So, yeah, I'm feeling good about this one, Coach. I'm feeling good. But, again, I'm not playing. I'm not coaching. But, if someone were to ask me, I would say, you know what? I think we have a slight edge. But I know you're going to put some good packages, to run offensively and then also defensively to kind of shut down their offense as well.
Yeah, trying to. I feel like our game plan, both sides of the ball, have been good the last few weeks. We didn't execute at times, but we found the right time to execute, especially last week. The North Hollywood game, I thought we executed the whole game on both sides of the ball, so really confident about that. But the kids are locked in, and that's all we can ask for. As long as they're locked in and they follow the game plan, don't get too greedy or selfish, which they haven't been. Again, I'm nervous, of course, but I do think we have a good chance of winning, and I have all the confidence in the world with my team.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I might have to I might have to tail the bus and get some, kind of follow this because again, if you think about it, you know, if we end up winning, I mean, this is kind of like a historical moment for Pally because, like you said a couple of weeks ago, we're the only team or club to not have a banner up in the gymnasium. So we could finally say after umpteen years, because I know the old guys, the alumni who's, back in the 50s and 60s who played, they hop on the live stream and, they make their presence vocal. They show up to the games. And so I know to make those guys kind of feel a little satisfaction, that their high school did something, won a championship. I think the whole Pally football community, past, present, future, I think we're going to be really excited. So I might have to follow the bus all the way to Birmingham and kind of capture some footage. So I might have to buy some extra batteries so I can, kind of. I mean, for real, NFL films kind of
There you go.
situation. Just
That'd be awesome. That'd be great.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll be an awesome time, and I think parents could, really appreciate it, and you could appreciate it as well because you could say that you won the first football championship for Palisades Charter High School. So that's awesome, man. Any closing words, man? I know we need to talk about just the particulars. And I think we might have mentioned it earlier. So the game is at Birmingham High School.
Correct.
7
Yeah,
o'clock.
Birmingham, 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. There you go. See, 6 o'clock, Birmingham High School. So come on out. I believe tickets might be available on GoFan. And
Yeah, they're available now.
they're available now. Okay. So after you do your turkey celebration and all that kind of good stuff, think about Pally football. If you're out of the area, if you're vacationing and you're really connected to the football team, if you're an alumni, we would love to pack the stands on our side to help our team, feel the energy, feel the love as they go for a championship at 6 o'clock at Birmingham High School this coming Saturday. So come on out, bring a friend, and, we just want nothing but good vibes. So, Coach, as always, we'll give you the last words, man, and, just tell us about your exuberation, just being hyped this past Friday and what you look forward to this coming Saturday against King Drew.
I mean, again, I'm not satisfied. We have one more game plus to go. At least we get a trophy this weekend. So, and then we're playing for another one in the next couple of weeks. But, we really need everybody to come out for this one. We can't bring noisemakers inside. Security apparently is tight, but you can bring your voices. The more people we have, the louder we can get. So we won't need noisemakers. These kids have worked their tails off to get to this point, and I know, especially these singers, they really want to bring this trophy home. The coaching staff, we all want to say we're the first coaching staff to bring a city title home. So I know we're all working hard and watching a lot of film to get these boys prepared. Like I said, I didn't party last week, but I will be this Saturday if we win. So, I really just want to bring the Pally community the first championship. So please come out, be a part of it. It's going to be literally history. So please come out and be a part of history and then do it again in the next couple of weeks.
Awesome, man. Yeah. I'm containing my excitement right now because it's been a long day. I saw Gladiator earlier, so I'm a little tired. But just know that your boy is over here. He's fired up. So, and I know all the Pally folks in my house, they're fired up as well. So it's gonna be a good game. So again, come on out, support the boys, support the football team, and we're gonna try to do what the paper says. The paper says, stats kind of favor us, but now it's important for the boys to come out and execute. And I'm sure Coach Smith and the rest of the coaches will put together a wonderful game plan so that we can be victorious. So I'm just gonna say we'll hop on next Monday at 7 o'clock. Win or lose, we're gonna hop on. In my mind, I'm thinking we're gonna be hoisting a chip, and so we're gonna be in celebratory mode. So that's my focus. But I know you're gonna do everything in your power to make sure the boys understand the importance and to put them in the right position. So again, we appreciate you hopping on, man. Continue to enjoy your new friend Ghost, who we kind of heard moving around a little bit in the background. And I'm gonna
He's
close
trying
out
to
the.
get some down there.
Yeah, absolutely. He's trying to get a little FaceTime as well, trying to get a little camera time. So just hang out in the green room, and then we'll come back after the show like we normally do. Appreciate you hopping on
Sounds
tonight,
good.
Coach.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Hey guys, so there you have it. Another wonderful conversation with Coach Smith. Just talking about the ebbs and flows during the football game against Eagle Rock, where we hung 63. Maybe next game it'll be a 70, but it doesn't matter. Long as we score more points than our opponent, it could be 13 or 14. It could be 1-2, whatever. Can you get 1 point? I don't think you can get one, but you can get two. So 2 to 3. There you go. But whatever, we just need to make sure we score more points than our opponent. And if we do, guys, how fun and exciting will it be for the Pali football community to have a banner to say the 2024 football team won it all in Division I football in the city of Los Angeles. So come on out at Birmingham. Other than that, hey, we're closing out the show. This is Mr. Riley coming to you live from the West Coast, the best coast. The West Side, again, just keep just come out and celebrate with us this coming Saturday, Birmingham at 6:00. All right. Other than that, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. And as always, go Pally. Good night. Oh, and also enjoy your Thanksgiving time with your family and friends. All right. Take care. Peace.